Football doesn't wait. It doesn't pause for legacy. It doesn't care about sentiment. And at a club where history weighs heavier than expectation, survival is never enough. In January 2026, everything changed. A club drifting without identity. A squad searching for structure. A fan base desperate for belief. And then, he returned. Not as a legend, not as a caretaker, but as something far more dangerous. A builder, a thinker, a quiet revolutionary. When Michael Carrick walked back through the tunnel at Old Trafford to lead Manchester United once again, he didn't just inherit a team, he inherited a crisis. Fresh from reshaping Middlesbrough, following the departure of Ruben Amorim, Carrick arrived with something United had been missing for years: clarity, structure, and a vision rooted not in nostalgia, but evolution. This is the story of how a former midfield conductor is now orchestrating one of football's most fascinating transformations. This is the story of Carrick's Manchester United. For years, Carrick was seen as football's calmest presence. As a player, he controlled tempo without noise. As a coach, he spoke softly, but observed everything. His time at Middlesbrough changed how the football world viewed him. There, away from global scrutiny, he built something rare, a modern possession system that blended intelligence with adaptability. Not flashy, not chaotic, just precise. He learned how to control matches through structure rather than emotion. So when Manchester United called again, this time felt different. He wasn't stepping in temporarily, he was stepping forward. What he brought with him wasn't just experience, it was proof. Proof he could build. Proof he could evolve. Proof he could lead. And most importantly, proof that modern football rewards clarity over charisma. The first revolution happened immediately. Carrick dismantled the tactical foundation he inherited. Out went the rigid back three system. Out went positional confinement. Out went predictability. In came a 4-2-3-1, simple on paper, complex in execution. At the heart of it all sat control, specifically in midfield. Carrick built his structure around the double pivot. Two midfielders operating as the brain of the team. One of them became symbolic of the new era, Kobbie Mainoo.
And seeing him, to perform at such a level in such big occasions, to be able to cope with the I said earlier about coaches being able to cope with being here and at the level, to deal with it. What Kobbie's done at such a young age is quite incredible, really, and we forget how young he still is. So I was just a big fan of watching him play and knowing what he was capable of. So it wasn't really a big decision to play him, and to be fair, it's not easy when you haven't played to find your rhythm and find your form.
Young, intelligent, composed. To Carrick, Mainoo wasn't just a player, he was philosophy made visible. The system created numerical superiority in central zones. Wingers drifted inside, fullbacks stretched wide. Midfield formed a box that suffocated opponents. Possession wasn't just about keeping the ball. It was about controlling space, rhythm, and psychological pressure. Opponents weren't chased, they were surrounded. Results validate ideas, and Carrick's ideas delivered immediately. 6 matches, no defeats, 5 wins, 1 draw. But numbers alone don't tell the story. The statement came against giants. Victories over Manchester City and Arsenal didn't just earn points, they changed perception.
And Mpumo at the Stretford end!
It shows how Manchester United are playing, and I like this. 32%, when they get the ball, they attack and they try to get an end product in quickly. And that is something we haven't seen for a very, very long time.
United weren't reacting anymore. They were dictating.
Still after they Patrick Dorgu. But he's done really well here. What an effort that is! Outstanding!
3 clean sheets reinforced something deeper. Defensive organisation had returned. Players moved with synchronised awareness. Pressing was coordinated. Transitions were controlled. For the first time in years, United looked structurally stable. This wasn't momentum. This was design. No tactical evolution happens alone. Carrick rebuilt not just the formation, but the brain trust behind it. His most significant appointment was Steve Holland, tactical lieutenant to Gareth Southgate. Holland brought elite tournament experience and positional intelligence. Then came cultural reinforcement. Johnny Evans joined after retirement, a direct bridge to standards forged under Sir Alex Ferguson. And from Carrick's Middlesbrough project arrived Jonathan Woodgate, defensive structure specialist. Together, they formed a coaching ecosystem built on 3 principles: clarity, accountability, continuity. This wasn't nostalgia-driven staffing. It was strategic alignment. Carrick understands one truth above all: control midfield. Control everything. United's tempo changed instantly. Passes became purposeful. Movement became anticipatory. Spacing became intentional. The team stopped playing moments and started controlling matches. Build-up sequences now stretched opponents before breaking lines. Transitions were timed, not rushed. United weren't faster. They were smarter. Systems create platforms. Players create impact. No revival symbolized Carrick's influence more than Bruno Fernandes. Restored to a pure number 10 role, he regained creative freedom without structural chaos. His movement between lines became devastating again. Then there was the emergence of Benjamin Šeško. Tall, direct, relentless. Carrick's transitional patterns suited him perfectly. Quick vertical attacks, early service, intelligent positioning. His winning goal against Everton became symbolic.
Just holds it up, got Benjamin Šeško, Šeško again! Manchester United in the front, his 7th Premier League goal of the season!
Not just a strike, a statement of identity. Modern football glorifies attack. Carrick rebuilt defence. Compact spacing between lines reduced vulnerability. Pressing traps replaced desperate chasing. Fullbacks balanced risk with recovery positioning. United didn't defend deeper. They defended smarter. The structure allowed aggression without exposure. That is tactical maturity. Perhaps the greatest transformation isn't tactical. It's mental. Players move with belief now. They understand roles. They trust positioning. They anticipate patterns. Uncertainty has been replaced with clarity. Confidence is no longer emotional. It's structural. For years, Carrick was viewed as safe, reliable, calm, temporary. Now, he is something else. A modern strategist, a system builder, a genuine candidate to lead long-term. By stabilizing performances and pushing the club back into contention for Premier League top 4, he has changed the conversation. He is no longer filling space. He is defining direction. This evolution is unfinished. The system will refine. Recruitment will align. Patterns will deepen. But the foundation is now unmistakable. Manchester United is not searching anymore. It is building, and at the center of it, all stands a man who never needed to shout to be heard. Football history rarely announces transformation while it happens. It whispers. It unfolds slowly. It reveals itself through structure, consistency, and control. Michael Carrick has not promised glory. He has built process. And in modern football, that is far more dangerous. Because when structure becomes identity, success stops being hope. It becomes inevitability. The question is no longer whether Carrick can stabilize Manchester United. The question is how far his evolution can take them. And perhaps the most unsettling truth for the rest of football, he's only just begun.